Manchester City buys Real Madrid star. Salah's replacement finally found at Liverpool. Arsenal signing a top striker. And Mbappe's problems? They're getting trickier by the day. And that's just a taste of what's in store for today's episode. Are you ready to dive in? Let's get started. Pep's contract is ticking down, and here's the thing. There's been radio silence on the extension front. None. Zero talks. If you were hoping for some behind-the-scenes secret deal, sorry to burst your bubble, but it ain't happening. And honestly, everything's pointing towards him walking away. Now, here's the twist. Pep hasn't flat out said, "I'm gone." But the man's dropped a couple of hints, like maybe it's time to move on. You know, that classic, "it's not you, it's me" line. Classic breakup vibes. On the one hand, you've got a manager who's won everything there is to win at City. On the other hand, maybe he's just done, mentally and physically exhausted. I mean, come on, managing a club like Manchester City for 8 years? That's like a football lifetime. But wait, why should we care? Well, losing Guardiola would be a massive blow for City's management. I mean, who could replace a guy who's been the mastermind behind their domestic domination and that historic Champions League win? Can you imagine the boardroom panic? No way. They'd love to keep him until he's old and grey, like Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. But here's the kicker. Pep ain't about the money. Yeah, he's already the highest paid coach in the Prem, but money doesn't drive him. Nope. He's all about new challenges. And here's where the rumour mill goes wild. Could international football be his next stop? Maybe even the Germany job? Ooh, wouldn't that be something? So, what can Manchester City do to keep him? Well, they could throw insane signing bonuses his way. But let's be real, that's not gonna move the needle for Pep. What might though is getting him players he's really excited to work with. And guess who's on that list? None other than Florian Wirtz. You know, the wonder kid from Bayer Leverkusen, often called the most talented German of his generation. Wirtz is on everyone's radar, but if City managed to snatch him up, maybe, just maybe, that's the trick to keeping Pep around. But don't get your hopes up too high. Even if they land Wirtz, there's no guarantee Pep stays. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery, right? Like when Zidane left Real Madrid. Sometimes legends just know when it's time to go. Here's what Pep himself said. "Whether I stay or go depends on my players and if they're still buying into my plans." Fair enough, Pep. Fair enough. My 2 cents? I think Pep's era at City is winding down. And honestly, can you blame him? 8 years of relentless success will wear anyone out. So, brace yourselves, City fans. This might be Pep's last hurrah. What do you guys think? Will Pep stay or go? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll keep going. Word on the street is that Arteta's eyeing none other than West Ham's Mohamed Kudus to bring some firepower into our somewhat shaky attack. £90 million for a versatile powerhouse who can slot in across the front line. But is he really worth that? Now, Arsenal's season hasn't exactly gone to plan, has it? Sitting 5th, 7 points behind Liverpool. Not quite where we pictured ourselves. Arteta's attack has been lacking that lethal edge, especially when we play away. So what's the solution? Kudus, apparently. He's proven he can play on the right wing, fill in as a striker, even slot in as a central midfielder or a number 10 when needed, a jack of all trades, and that's exactly what Arteta loves. A forward who can move around like a chess piece. But, and it's a big but, does that make him worth £90 million? And here's where it gets juicy. Arsenal could recoup a chunk of that fee by offloading Trossard, who's barely gotten a look in this season. Rumour has it that Al Ittihad is ready to fork over £40 million for him. Remember, they tried getting him on loan last summer but came up short. This time, they're pulling out the wallet for real. And let's not forget the big hole left by Martin Odegaard's absence. Since September, we've missed his creativity. And it shows. But while Odegaard's return should bring some spark, Arteta's clearly thinking it might not be enough to stay competitive with the big boys. Kudus has been linked with us before, even before his move to West Ham. In 55 games, he's notched 23 goal contributions. Not exactly Haaland numbers, but decent enough, right? Now here's my take. £90 million for Kudus feels excessive. Don't get me wrong, he's talented and versatile, but are we really ready to break the bank for him? With his contract running until 2028 at West Ham, the Hammers won't let him go on the cheap. Arsenal might want to reconsider unless they can negotiate a price closer to £60 million. So, will Arsenal finally pull the trigger and bring Kudus to the Emirates? Or will West Ham's asking price scare them off? Personally, I think the club's going to be cautious here. £90 million is a lot for a maybe, but hey, stranger things have happened in January windows. Let's talk about a topic that's been on every Liverpool fan's mind: Mo Salah's contract situation. Yeah, the Egyptian king, the guy who's been tearing up the Prem for what feels like forever. But here's the catch: he's 32, and his current deal is ticking away. I mean, we all know Salah isn't the young buck he once was, but get this, in pre-season, he topped Liverpool's fitness tests. Topped them! So, if anyone thinks Father Time is catching up to him, they better think again. He's fitter than ever, and honestly, the guy seems like he's just getting started. And you know what's even crazier? He doesn't even have to be at his absolute peak to deliver those magical moments. We've seen him score bangers from nowhere and just make the impossible look routine. I mean, 220 goals in 364 appearances. That's not just good, that's Liverpool legend stuff. He's sitting pretty at 5th on Liverpool's all-time scorers list. Salah's been linked with a move to Saudi Arabia for what feels like ages. And let's be real, the kind of money they're throwing around over there, it's enough to make anyone think twice. Liverpool even turned down a whopping £150 million bid for him. But here's the thing, Salah seems pretty chill about the whole situation. He's not sweating it. This is my last year with the club and I want to enjoy it. I feel I am free to play football. We will see what happens next year, he said after scoring against Manchester United in September. Classic Salah, cool, calm and collected. But listen Liverpool, you have to lock him down. I'm talking a 2-year deal minimum. No ifs, no buts. He's still world class, and losing him on a free transfer, bruh, that would be nothing short of a disaster. I mean, have you seen the transfer market lately? Replacing Salah isn't just a matter of throwing money at the problem, it's impossible. Here's the thing though, on the one hand, we've got Salah saying he's happy at Liverpool, settled on Merseyside, not looking for an exit. And while negotiations drag on, Liverpool's already thinking ahead. They're eyeing some young guns like Bryan Mbeumo and Antoine Semenyo. Now, these aren't just random names, these guys have the potential to fill Salah's boots. Not immediately, of course, but down the line. Mbeumo, for instance, is a beast in front of goal. And Semenyo, the kid's got versatility written all over him. But let's be real, no one can really replace Salah. His impact, his legacy, it's something that goes beyond stats. But it's smart business by Liverpool to have a plan B, C and D. Here's what Arne Slot had to say about it. Let's wait and see, but all what he said is completely right in that he doesn't exactly know what the future will be as long as he doesn't sign the contract yet. Slot's handling this whole thing like a boss. He's not panicking, and neither should we. But still, you can't help but feel that Liverpool need to get this deal done, like yesterday. So, what's my hot take? I think Salah's gonna stay. Call it a gut feeling, but there's just too much going in his favour for him to leave. At least not right now. Liverpool's still a top club, competing for titles and smashing it in the Champions League. And let's not forget, Salah loves the spotlight. Anfield is his stage. And the fans? Man, they adore him. Whether Salah stays or goes, Liverpool will keep pushing forward. But if I were a betting man, I'd put my money on Salah signing that 2-year extension. He's happy, he's settled, and he's still got a lot to give. What do you think? Is Salah staying or going? And who should Liverpool bring in if he leaves? Manchester United's got a new manager on the way, Ruben Amorim from Sporting Lisbon. He's officially taking over on November 11th. And let's just say it's going to be one heck of a challenge. Amorim's been a winner in Portugal, bagging 2 league titles since 2020. But the Premier League? That's a different beast altogether. So here's the deal. Amorim's walking into Old Trafford with his eyes wide open. No illusions here. He's not planning to grab a bunch of Sporting players right away. Smart move, honestly, given how United's cash flow isn't exactly limitless. He straight up said, "I'm not going to get any players from Sporting in January." That's no small statement, especially with Sporting slapping a €100 million tag on Victor Gyökeres, their star striker, who's already smashed in 20 goals this season. Now Gyökeres would be a dream for United's front line, but €100 million? Not exactly pocket change, folks. And listen, it's not like United could wait around for Amorim to finish out the season in Portugal. Nope, they want him now, and they want results fast. The team's been slipping in recent years, and the urgency's real. Let's be honest, we're all hoping this is the guy to bring back the glory days. Remember when United was feared across Europe? Right now, they're barely scraping by against mid-table teams. Amorim's got a massive task ahead, not just to bring in the big names, but to turn what he's got into a team that can actually challenge for trophies. Of course, Roy Keane's not impressed. He basically called United average at everything and said, job number one has got to be to stop this rot of players coming to Manchester United who were fancied because other clubs wanted them as well and who have not been able to achieve the levels of potential they demonstrated before they signed. Brutal, but not wrong. United's seen too many stars come in with big hype, only to fizzle out on the pitch. So, what's the prediction here? I think Amorim's first few months are going to be rocky. He's got to deal with what he's got, and let's face it, this isn't a squad built for the long haul. But if he manages to hold on, maybe, just maybe, the summer window will bring in the reinforcements he really needs. It's a long road back to the top for United, but hey, we've seen stranger things happen in football. Remember all the hype when Kylian Mbappé signed for Real Madrid? The flashy presentation, the big promises, and that iconic "I'm here to help the team" speech? Yeah, well, fast forward 6 months and it's not exactly going to plan, folks. When Mbappé first arrived, the locker room was all rainbows and unicorns. The team was keeping things afloat. The new guys, Endrick and Mbappé, were getting all the support they needed. But now, after a string of disappointing results, things have taken a turn. The unity's cracking, and guess who's in the eye of the storm? Yep, our man Kylian. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. The players have started pointing fingers, and Mbappé's been the main target. Fair? Well, on the one hand, he's Kylian Mbappé. World-class talent, lightning speed, and a goal-scoring machine. On the other hand, he's been, let's say, a bit lazy on the defensive end. In El Clasico, he ran a mere 8 kilometers. Vini was out there running twice that distance, and you bet everyone noticed. Do you remember Kylian's big speech during his presentation? Here's what he himself said: "I will play wherever the coach tells me. The main thing is to help the team." But so far, it feels like it's the team helping him pad his stats. He's been getting in Vini's way more often than not. The situation got so tense that the players reportedly complained to Ancelotti. Classic Carlo, though. He stepped in quickly, shuffling roles to keep the peace. If Mbappé is not up for the defensive grind, Vini's gonna press, and Kylian's tasked with covering the right back. Smart move, but come on, this isn't what we expected from Mbappé. Here's the kicker. Despite the underwhelming start, Real's hierarchy hasn't lost faith. They're pointing out that it's only November and reminding everyone that titles are decided in May. Ancelotti, ever the optimist, believes Kylian's breakthrough is just around the corner. Mbappé's a generational talent. He's gonna come good eventually, but the pressure's mounting. If he doesn't step up soon, the whispers will turn into shouts. So, keep an eye on this one, folks. It's far from over, but it's getting interesting. What do you think? Will Mbappé find his form, or is this a bump he can't cruise over? Drop your thoughts below. You know, the Reds are already stacked, but hey, when you're planning for the future, you don't sit around twiddling your thumbs, especially not when Mohamed Salah's future's looking a bit, well, uncertain. So, what's the deal? Liverpool are setting their sights on Borussia Dortmund's very own sensation, Karim Adeyemi. But here's the kicker. They're not alone in this race. Chelsea and PSG are sniffing around too. Adeyemi's only 22, but he's already turning heads all over Europe. This kid's got it all: pace, power, and skill. He can play on either wing or even up front as a proper striker. I mean, we're talking about a walking highlight reel here. Remember that hat-trick against Celtic? Absolute fire. It's no wonder Liverpool's sporting director, Richard Hughes, has got him on the shortlist as a potential Salah successor. I know. Salah's been a godsend for Liverpool, but guys, we've got to be realistic. If he decides to make that big move to Saudi Arabia or elsewhere, Liverpool need to be ready, right? On the one hand, Adeyemi's versatility makes him a dream for any manager. Arne Slot, or whoever's at the helm, could slot him into any position in that deadly front three. On the other hand, Dortmund aren't gonna let him go cheap. We're talking a minimum of 50 million euros here, folks. But let's be honest, for a player of his caliber, that's pocket change for a club like Liverpool. Here's where it gets interesting though. Juventus were hot on his trail last summer, but it looks like that ship has sailed. So now it's a straight-up battle between Liverpool, Chelsea and PSG. Who's got the upper hand? Well, Liverpool's interest seems pretty genuine, and they've got the financial muscle to seal the deal. Adeyemi's contract runs until 2027, so Dortmund aren't in a hurry to sell, but if the Reds come knocking, who knows? Apparently, Adeyemi's got a lot of admirers behind the scenes at Anfield, so don't be surprised if Liverpool launch a serious bid for him. Listen to how he commented on his ambitions earlier this year. "I want to play at the highest level and win major trophies." Sounds like a guy who'd thrive at a club like Liverpool, doesn't it? In my opinion, if Adeyemi joins Liverpool, he could be the next big thing in the Premier League. His style of play is tailor-made for it. Plus, with Arne Slot's guidance, he could really blossom into a world beater. The future's bright, my friends. So, Reds fans, keep an eye on this one. It could be the start of Liverpool's next big chapter. Word on the street, or more accurately from Fichajes, is that Manchester City are preparing to throw a whopping €150 million at Real Madrid for none other than Rodrygo. Now before you ask, why Rodrygo? Let me break it down for you. Over the past few years, this Brazilian wizard has been catching the eyes of Europe's top clubs with his lightning speed and slick dribbling skills. And who's been eyeballing him like a kid in a candy store? None other than Pep Guardiola. I mean, the guy's got a thing for young, dynamic players, and Rodrygo fits that bill perfectly, especially with the possibility of Erling Haaland packing his bags and leaving the Etihad. Let's be real, Manchester City have been on a spending spree, investing in young talent to keep their squad fresh and lethal. Rodrygo's addition would not only boost their attacking options, but also add a new flavour to their already spicy style of play. We're talking more pace, more flair, and more unpredictability up front. Sounds exciting, right? But, and it's a big but, this transfer ain't gonna be a walk in the park. Real Madrid aren't exactly known for letting their stars walk away without a fight. They see Rodrygo as a key player for both now and the future. I mean, the guy's been a trooper, adjusting to different positions since day one at the Bernabeu. Not to mention, he's the only member of Real's front three who actually contributes defensively. That's right, while Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe are busy doing their thing up front, Rodrygo's out there hustling and bustling, pressing opponents and winning back the ball. On the one hand, Manchester City's offer is tempting, like really tempting. But on the other hand, Real Madrid might just dig their heels in and say, no deal. Even if City up their bid to around €170 million, it could make Real's president sweat a little and reconsider. Here's an interesting tidbit for you. Rodrygo's been linked with moves away from Madrid ever since Kylian Mbappe's arrival. It's like everyone thought Mbappe's move would be the final nail in Rodrygo's coffin at Real. But guess what? He's still there, still fighting, and still making a massive impact when it matters most. Now, let's talk contract details. Word has it that Rodrygo's been earning a cool €12.5 million per year at Madrid, but City might just sweeten the deal with a heftier paycheck to lure him to the Premier League. Behind the scenes, sources say City are prepping an offer that could make Rodrygo one of their top earners. So, what's the verdict? Will Rodrygo swap the white of Madrid for the sky blue of Manchester? Here's what I think. If City really ramp up their bid and offer Rodrygo a lucrative long-term deal, Real Madrid might just find it too hard to refuse. But don't count out Real's determination to keep their squad intact. My personal prediction? This is going to be a high-stakes poker game between two of Europe's biggest clubs. If City come in with an offer north of €170 million, Real Madrid might just blink. But if they stand firm, Rodrygo's staying put. Either way, it's going to be one hell of a transfer saga to watch unfold. So what do you think? Will Rodrygo be donning the sky blue next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more juicy transfer updates.